Alright, rail crane, RABG, inspection and maintenance. Safety during the maintenance. All the errors and surface of maintenance being performed on the machine before failure within use of the company lockout tagout procedure within performing the maintenance on this machine. Says the lockout and tagout requirements in the safety section of this manual. You know, start the engine if the repairs or work is being performed alone. You should always have at least two people working together, and the engine must run during the if the engine must run during the service. One person needs to remain in the command position at the controls, ready to stop the machine, shut off the engine if needed. Rise. Use of the OEM recommended practices. Nordco includes the general recommended maintenance procedure for the items not on this own, making the pumps, generators, and etc. With the text of the document is not meant as the replacement of reading the OEM literature that is included with the volume 2. If it's responsible to read and understand all the documentation of the manual, including the OEM literature found in the volume 2. Danger of failure to obey the following will result in death of serious injury. The following all the recommendation and inspection maintenance practices listed in the crane manufacturer manuals. If the manual is missing from this crane, contact the manufacturer and replacement. Do not modify the alter of this crane without written manufacturer approval. Use only the manufacturer approved the attachments and parts of this crane. Crane must be mounted on the factory recommended chassis. If remounted with rebuilt with the crane, must be recertified. Nordco Service Note Network. Need assistance is only the phone call away and experience with it. If you experience problems, contact the original sales representative first. He will list you on one of the front of the page of the manual. If you cannot reach he will suggest that you contact a representative close to the work area before the Nordco Service Manager. See the map on the next page with alternating representative closest to your work area. Requesting assistance. If you have any questions regarding the maintenance of the service of the machine, please call local Nordco representative, Nordco Service Manager, 1-800-445-92588, U.S. and Canada. Process will be faster if you have the following information before calling the machine model number, the rail crane, RBUG, the serial number. Danger of avoided injury to yourself. The boom can fall when pins are removed. Do not remove the pins until the boom is supported properly. Blocking of the boom suspension rope is relocated. Describe the operator's manual. The absence of sufficient information of this manual, consult your manufacturer. This page is intentionally left blank. Or your transmission. Check the oil level daily with the engine idle speed with the transmission and neutral with the transmission oil temperature between 160 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Always make certain that there around the dipstick is clear of the debris and move the removed dipstick. Failure to do so may cover the cause of contamination. Transmission fluid. Transmission should be changed when the transmission is normal operating temperature. Refer to volume 2 with the component data and transmission tab with more information, inspection, maintenance, and troubleshooting. Slowing of the ring. Bearing lubrication. Lubrication for the bearing is recommended every 100 hours. Idle equipment should be not grease dries and other breathing due to the temperature changes the cause and convention station with the bearing, whether the use or not of the bearing should be have grease introduced every 6 months. The bearing should be rotated a few revolutions to coat all the surface of fresh grease, gear, lubrication. There is a tendency to make the better of the care of the bearing that's the gear. However, the meshing action with the unusual position of the gear tends to purge with the lubrication. This gear should be greased frequently. The small bottle of the lubricant as well with the maintained with the gear with the provided along with a smooth and quiet surface recommended with the grease then to be introduced to the point of the mesh of the pinion. Gear every 8 hours with a slow intermittent operation more often than rapidly continuously rotating application. Inspection tightening of the bolts. Inspection between 2 and 3 weeks, 2 weeks and 3 months after putting the machine into service. Retighten all the bolts once a year. After 2,000 hours of the operation, retighten all the bolts. If one or more of the bolts have lost and 20% more of the prescribed preload than the actual bolts, as well as the two adjacent ones, should be replaced if 20% of the more of the total number of the bolts or single ring are found to have less than 80% of the prescribed preload. All the bolts should be replaced. When replacing the bearing, always replace the bolts. When inspection with the mounting, ensure that the moving of the part is balanced and tilting movement close to zero. There is no radial forces upon it, provided the bearing is supporting all central acting axle loaded. Retighten with the bolts of the individual in accordance with the prescribed procedure. Never loosen and exchange more than one bolt at a time. Using the same tighten method is the same tools and the same type of the bolts employed with the original mounting. Check the bolts for the damage, corrosion, and replace if necessary. Tighten the bolt. Torque should be tightened if the torque of the wrench with the hydraulic tension or at least the two-stage. For alternative methods, please consult the RKS, SKF, slewing bearings. The bolts must be tightened in order to show in the diagram below. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inspection is of seals. The seals of the ceiling of the system should be inspected at least every 6 months for the instance during the routine amount maintenance for installation. Check the condition of the seals and clean them necessary if there are signs of damage. Change the seals in order to prevent any possible contamination of the bearing. Furthermore, check the evenness of the ring of the grease around the bearing. There should be always sufficient amount of the grease of the lip of the seal. Seals should be inspected during the routine maintenance. The recommendation by the designer, but the interval should not exceed 6 months. Checking for the tear or break of the other signs of the damage, depending on lubrication frequency protection. It may be necessary to clean some of the areas to conduct inspection. Carefully remove any of the building of the debris and seal lubricated with the bearing. There should be a small bed of the grease around the seal, indicating the bearing is receiving sufficient lubrication. Turbo 2000 air drive. Refer to the volume 2 of the component data, other tab of the motor information or oil inspection maintenance of the troubleshoot. The volume the take of the SKF the turbo of the 2000 manual. Refer to the manual for more information. System checks should be done with regularly. Include check for the maintenance moisture for the air system of the opening of the reserve of the drain cock with the valve of the moisture for the resonant replacement disc ascendant cartridge for the T2204. If the contaminants are present with the use of the surface kit 619340 or 619360 for the initial filtration performance and surface compressor as needed. Check for air leaks building the system. Cut out with the pressure of the air driver should not unload again with the idle. If it unloads within 4 to 5 minutes, there is a slow leak that needs to be addressed. Spray the hose with water. Fitting is around the air drive. The wet tank of the compressor for the repair is needed. Note that the ET type of the driver on the non-oil stick compressor could be leaking out, or the intake of the compressor. There is a yellow sticker on the air dryer that indicates the ET type or non-ET type. At least 4 minutes below likely to be the result of the non-functioning valve, the major leak in the air of the system. If soapy water does not reveal the leak, they'll replace the air dryer. Unload the valve number 235 and turbo valve 228 and check valve 238 and the surface kit and 619340. Include all of these valves plus the descendant cartridge of the T224 surface kit and 619360 and includes additional filtration the T224P. Check heater element. Remove the heater of the rod with the dryer ignition off. Use the ohmmeter to check the resistance. The resistance from the 12 volt 75 watt heater is 1.8 watts, 6.6 amp drawn with the 24 volt 75.74 watts for the 3.2 amp drawn. The ohmmeter is available. The exposure air dryer with the temperature below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Placed by the hand on the portion of the air dryer and feel the warmth. Yearly service in the Turbo 2000 should include the replacement descendant cartridge with the T224, upgrade of contamination filtration T224P, clean port area, replacing the purge valve with the number 235, clean bottom cap, the release turbo valve 228, clean port area, and replace check valve to number 238. Above all, included with the 61934 and 61930 for the T224P engine. Further volume 2 with the component data engine tab with the more information, inspection, maintenance, of the troubleshooting, the John Deere lubrication maintenance service at interval charge on the page 25-2 with the manual air compressor. Refer to the volume 2 component data other tab with the more information on the inspection, maintenance, and troubleshooting the maintenance charges on the page 13 of Worthing Hall Gracianotic manual. Alright, your hydraulic hose and fitting inspection. Evidence of the leakage of each of the surface of the fluid, flexible hose in junction with the metal, with the coupling, blistering, and abnormal deformation, or covering with a hydraulic pneumatic hose. The leakage are threaded with the clamps and joints that cannot be eliminated. Normal tightening and recommended procedures. Evidence of success of abrasion, scrubbing, and other outer surfaces of the hose. Rigid tube. The feeding means that it shall be taken and eliminated with the interface with the elements in contact to otherwise protect the components. Hydraulic pumps and motors. Inspect loose for the bolts and fasteners. Leak at all joints between the section shields. Leaks. Usual noise and vibration, loss of operating speed, heating of the fluid, loss of pressure. More information refer to volume 2 component data for the pump and the motor tabs for the more information on the inspection maintenance of the troubleshoot. Hydraulic valves, cracks in the valve housing, proper return of the spool to natural position, leaks for the spools and joints, sticking spools, failure relief valves, and tension corrected with pressure relieving the revalve. Pressure shall be checked as specified by the manufacturer. More information, refer to volume 2 component data valve tab for the more information on inspection, maintenance, and troubleshooting. Alright, hydraulic filters. Evidence of rubber particles in filter element may indicate the formation of the hose and the O-ring other than rubber components. Metal chips, the piece on the filter may be denote the failures in the pump, the motors, and the cylinders. Further checking will be necessary to determine the original problem before corrective action can be taken. Alright, crane system general inspection. Deformed crack of the corroded members of the crane structure of the entire boom with the both primary, secondary boom with the both rivets, the nut, and pins for the being loose, the missing, cracked, or worn sheave, the drums, hook, the damage for the deformation, cracks, any visible apparent bend of the twist from the plane of the unbent hook, or any distortion causing an increase in the throw opening of the 5% not exceeding 1/4 of an inch unless otherwise recommended by the manufacturer. Die penetration magnetic particle other than suitable crack detection inspection should be performed at least once a year. One crack in distorted parts such as pins, bearings, and shafting gears and rollers are locking devices. Excessive wear on brakes or clutch systems, part linings or pawls or ratchets, load boom angles, or other operating aids over the full range of any significant inaccuracy. If calibration is required, it should be done by a qualified person. An inspection wire rope with the kinking, the crushing, bird caging, any other damage such as the heat wear of the fraying of the brakes and resulting damage of the wire rope following the standard wire rope inspection guidelines. Pneumatic pneumatic drive. They refer to the volume 2 for the cover. The other tab with the more efficient installation maintenance. If the troubleshooting the following is taken from the page 21 of the Polemaster PM 550 manual, refer to the manual for more information. In order to maintain the Polemaster pneumatic drive in the peak operation condition at all times, it's recommended the following preventive maintenance procedures are carried out every 12 months or 500 operating hours, whichever occurs first. Disconnect all the hydraulic connections. Remove the pneumatic drive from its mounting. Disassemble the pneumatic drive in accordance with the service instructions. Discard, replacing oil rings and oil seals. Inspect all the parts with wear and replace the necessary. Clean all the parts thoroughly with the solvent before reassembly. Follow the installation operation instruction when returning the pneumatic drive into its mounting. Pneumatic hydraulic winch Polemaster M12 and H12. Refer to the volume 2 for the component other tab with more information on the inspection maintenance and troubleshooting. The following is taken with the page 19 Polemaster M12. Refer to the manual with more information. Winch gear training. The lubricating only should be trained in the initial 6 months for 50 hours of the operation, which covered the first. Lubricating oil should then be changed every 12 months for the 500 operating hours, which come first. Check for the drums and sign with wear that could be damaged with the rope if theirs or with the wire rope with aggregation with the means that the wire rope has been improperly wound. Verify the required minimum number of the dead wraps may remain the drum. Don't forget to check the condition of the drum flange. For optional performance over extended period the following preventive maintenance service should be done with every 12 months or 500 operating hours, whichever comes first. Disconnect all the hydraulic hoses. Remove the winch with it mounted. Assemble the winch and as per instruction. Discard the replace the O-rings and oil seals. Clean all the parts inspected with the wear and damage as per instruction. Replace the worn and damaged parts as required. 5. Reassemble the winch as per instruction. Follow the installation and operation instructions when returning winch to mounting. Magnet winch. Refer to volume 2 for the component data of the crane system tab. More information on inspection maintenance for the troubleshooting. Follow the taken from page 9 of the Pneumatic manual. Refer to the manual for the more information. Lubrication should be checked at the start of each of the new job. The SA 90 weight heavy oil. Remove the oil plug near the rear of the barrel housing. Add oil as necessary per decal guide until the oil level line up the plug hole of the pin over the end plate. Do not fill past plug hole or replace plug. Inspect the wear of the damage. Inspect the fairlaid of the assemble of the routine wear of the place the sheaves if uneven wear of the groove. Then inspect the tagline cable with the routine wire with the signs of the frayed end of the wear as are visible and replace the cable. Alright, storage between us. For a brief period of inactivity is not necessary for the drain of oil housing. Caution, always store the unit into the housing in a horizontal position to prevent the oil from leaking through the oil seal. For the long period of inactivity, the lubrication oil should be drained from the housing, loosening board nuts for the input between the unit for the removal of final oil residue. Tighten for the board nuts stored in unit horizontal position. Magnet generator. Further volume 2 for the component data with the crane system table for the more information on the inspection maintenance and troubleshoot. All the maintenance of the generator should be performed at least 10 minutes after the generator has been stopped and you have verified that no charge remains held in the generator. Pneumatic drive. Refer to the component data other tab with the more information inspection maintenance the troubleshooting. The following is taken to page 21 of the Polemaster MPM 50 manual. Refer to the manual for more information. Order to maintain the Polemaster pneumatic drive in peak operation condition at all times. It recommended that the following preventive maintenance procedures are carried out every 12 months for 500 operating hours, whichever occurs first. Disconnect all hydraulic connection. Remove the pneumatic drive with the pneumatic point. Disassembly pneumatic drive in accordance with the service instruction. Discard the replace O-rings and oil seals. Inspect all the parts of the wear, the replacement necessary. Clean all the parts thoroughly and solve them before reassembling. Follow installation operating instruction when returning pneumatic driving as mounted. Planetary hydraulic winch Ballmaster M12 and H12 refer to the volume 2 of the component data. Other tab the more information inspection manual. Within the troubleshooting the following is taken with the page 19 with the Ballmaster M12 with the manual. Refer to the manual for more information. Which gear of the train lubrication oil should be changed after the initial 6 month of 50 operation, whichever comes first. Lubricating oil should then be changed every 12 months of the 500 operation hours, whichever comes first. The hydraulic system should be changed at least once every 12 months. Optimum performance over an extended period for the time of the following preventive maintenance services should be done every 12 months or 500 operating hours, whichever comes first. Disconnecting all the hydraulic hose, remove the winch, and disassemble the winches per instruction. Discard and replace all the O-rings and oil seals, clean all the parts, inspect for the wear and the damage, and per instruction replace the worn and damaged parts required, reassemble the winches per instruction for the installation, operation, inspection, when routing winches to and mounting, the inspection of the sheaves. Rope sheath should be periodically inspected for the roughness and worn spots. Worn sheaths may be damaged for the rope, which could result in the warp or rope breakage or bad spooling. A proper fitting sheath should be supported with the rope over 135 to 150 degrees. The rope circumference. All sheaths should be checked with the retract, the grooving, the damage of the tube blocking, and undue looseness of the bearing bushing should be denoted with the shaft. The creep to the surface should be smooth, but should lightly larger than the wire rope being used. Proper maintenance of the equipment on which the rope is operated with the important bearing on the rope of the worn groove with the power alignment of the sheath and worn pearl, resulting in shock loads, excessive vibration, which will have the deteriorating effect. Check the flange for the wear. Check the sheath, the grooves. Check the sheath for the grooves and wear. Check the bearings and the wobble location of the easy location. Properly match rope for the sheath groove. Sheath groove too small. Sheath groove is undercut. New rope will damage beyond the repair, and sheath corrugated by rope print. The sheath will damage the rope. Sheaves, bearing the sheath, check the bearing location sign of the woe and the ease of the rotation. Worn bearings cause the vibration in the rope with the increase in the fatigue of the repair of the bearing and replace the sheaves. Rope inspection. Inspect the rope daily, particularly before the making the heavy lift. The figure below is the show of the critical points need to be checked. Pick up the point section of the rope or which of the repeated place under the stress on the initial load. Each of the lift is applied with the stress of those section contact with the sheaves and attachments be at the end of each of the rope toe. The areas that must be inspected. The fitting of the is attached with the rope, the condition of the rope where it enters the attachment. Alright, drum sheath, the general condition for the drum, the groove, the drum, and the groove, so should it be inspected carefully. If there's damage to the drum, there's damage to the rope as well. Inspection of the wire rope. Check for abrasion, fatigue, corrosion. The wear corrosion usually occurs from the inside out. Therefore, it's the hardest to all find. Wire rope should be evidence of bird caging, kinking, fraying, and any other damage must be removed from service. And that's the final page of this so far. Nordco Rail Crane RBGUG System Operation Maintenance Manual.